Hey creeps, it's Cameron again, and welcome back to my channel where I talk about books, movies, writing, and all things spooky. On this episode of Library Macabre, I have part 2 of my February book haul. First, I have the rest of my vintage horror paperbacks here. First, we have The Naughty Girls by Arthur Wise. This was published in 1982 by Playboy Press. A very, very popular cover that I've been looking for a long time. The tagline says, "Who could guess what unspeakable terror lurks in the tangled briars? Who can blame the darling little girls?" So this is obviously about killer twin girls, so should be good fun. This was published in 1982 by Signet, but it looks like it was originally published in 1980. This one is called Blood Snarl. This is by Ivor Watkins, and it's a killer animal book, which is one of my favorite things to read. Next is a Zebra title from 1985, and this is a very, very popular cover. This is Only Child, and it is by Patricia Wallace. I have never read any of Patricia Wallace, but this one looks really cool. This is another creepy kid book about a town in which a bunch of kids are disappearing, except for this one little girl. It says, "The town was paralyzed with fear, all except little Hannah, whose blue eyes remained eerily calm, whose pink lips curved into a terrifying smile, for she had always wanted to be the only child." Here's another Patricia Wallace book. This one is called Traces, and this is more of a medical thriller, which I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of, but since Patricia Wallace has written a lot of horror, I figured this one should be pretty fun. This one is called Ladies in Waiting. This is by R.R. Walters. This was published by Tor in, I think it was 1986 actually. This cover kind of gives me some Suspiria vibes. I think it's about a woman who moves into a house, and then there are these portraits with these women in it, and it turns out the portraits may actually be haunted. So, sounds pretty cool. It's kind of a chunky book. Next, we have one that was published by Jove in 1980. It is called The Orphan, and this is based off of the screenplay by John Ballard, and it is a novel by Samantha Mellers. So, like it says here, now a terrifying film, which I've never seen. I've never even heard of it. I've heard of the Orphan film that came out in like 2009. I've seen that one, but this obviously is very different. So I'll have to track that down and see if I can watch it, if it exists. I don't know if it actually does. Next, we have a book that was published in 1980 originally in hardcover, and then was published again in 1981 in this paperback edition. It's published by Pocket Books. This is The Parasite by Ramsey Campbell, and this has a really nice die cut cover. I like the cover inlay there. It looks really cool. The pregnant lady. Obviously this is about some kind of demon spawn from hell, which a lot of these 80s paperbacks tend to be about. I have actually never read a Ramsey Campbell book before. That's something that I definitely need to remedy. This one was published by Leisure in 1983. It's called Love's Unearthly Power. This is by Blair Foster. I don't know, it sounds kind of cheesy. The title is definitely very, very corny, but it might be fun since it's published by Leisure. Here's one that was published by Fawcett in 1977, and man, is this cover amazing or what? This is called Best Friend. It is by Pat Feely. Love it. That is the most amazing cover I have ever seen. Here we have a collection of short stories published by Del Abyss. This is called Meta Horror, and this is edited by Dennis Etchison. I love meta horror stories, so this should be really cool. And last up for the vintage horror paperbacks, we have The Midnight Tree. This is by Charles Hyman, and it says it is a fairy tale of terror. So this should be cool. This is published by Pocket Books in 1979. Moving into the other books that I bought this month, I have Summer Chills. I got this at Half Price Books for like $7. It is a anthology of short summer-themed horror stories edited by Stephen Jones, who's a great editor. This is a nice, chunky anthology, so this should be really fun to read this summer. Here are the 3 books that I got in the February Nightworms package, which I already did an unboxing of that. I'll post that up here. But just to go over again what books I got the Cormorant by Stephen Gregory, a signed copy of Rabbit Heart by Jeremy Wagner, and a signed copy of In the River by Jeremy Robert Johnson. And if you guys remember, I got the winning copy in the Nightworms package. So because I won the giveaway, I was also sent a signed copy of Entropy in Bloom, also by Jeremy Robert Johnson. And as you can see, he also signed the heck out of this book, which is totally awesome. It says, "Cameron, congrats on winning the Nightworms Robot Challenge. Hopefully this batch of strange tales finds you well, and that you are never attacked by a badger or any other animal." It says here, Azah, and then he signed his name, which is really cool. I hope I'm never attacked by a badger either. I also won another giveaway on Instagram, so I was able to get a couple of books from Amazon with the gift card that I won. The first one I picked was The Same Deep Water as You by Chad Lutzke, which I just recently talked about in my Chad Lutzke author spotlight video, so I'll post the link to that up there. Definitely go give that a watch and support this author because he is writing some amazing books. And the next book that I won in the giveaway was The Siren and the Spectre by Jonathan Janz. This is the really nice hardcover edition that is published by Flame Tree Press. I have been trying to collect all of his books in these editions, and I was able to get a few more, but I'll save that for my March book haul coming in the next couple of weeks. But these books are amazing. They all match when you put them on the shelf, which is very cool. And I've already started covering them in the nice Mylar plastic covers because I want to keep them nice and pretty. So yeah, there's Siren and the Spectre by Jonathan Janz. I've heard great things about this book. I heard it's just a really good ghost story, so hopefully I can get to this one soon. I'm going to try to go through this next set of books really quick because there's a lot of them. I went to Half Price Books recently, and I found a bunch of X-Files books that I didn't already own. I owned a couple of these already, so this was just able to help me complete my set. So I'm going to go through this first series. This one was a young adult series that was published in the late 90s, early 2000s. The first one is book number 4. I didn't have this one yet. It's called Our Town. Book number 5, Empathy. Book number 6, Fresh Bones, which is a great cover. Number 7, Control. Number 9, Hungry Ghosts, another really good cover. All of these have really cool, spooky covers. That one's called Dark Matter. Book number 10. Book 11, Howlers. Book 12, Grotesque. And book number 15, Haunted. There were 16 of these total, so now I have every single one of them. I'm very glad to have them. And then there was this series of X-Files books, which were published for younger readers, like middle grade readers. And there were 10 total, so now I have all of these. The first one is X Marks the Spot. Number 3, Tiger Tiger. Number 4 is Squeeze. Number 5, Humbug. Number 8, Voltage. Number 9, EBE. And number 10, Die Bug Die. And the later books in the series I know are a lot rarer than the others. So I was happy to find them and complete my set. These are all in like mint condition, so that is also awesome. Next, I got my pre-order of Return to Fear Street by R.L. Stine. This is the 3rd book in the series. It is called Drop Dead Gorgeous. And I've not read any of the books in the Return to Fear Street series yet because I want to go back and start from the beginning of the original Fear Street series and read all the way through, which is going to be a big task. But I'm going to be doing videos about that. I know I mentioned it in a video a few months ago. I will get to that eventually. I'm just trying to get through some review books at the moment. So I'm excited to do that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Also by R.L. Stine, we have the latest Goosebumps Slappy World book. This is book number 7. It is called It's Alive, It's Alive. And I'm not the biggest Slappy fan, honestly. I much prefer the Haunted Mask and pretty much all of the other Goosebumps monsters compared to Slappy. I just think Slappy is overused. But I'm still gonna buy the books, so here we go. This is one that I found at a thrift store for like 99 cents. It is called Chilling Ghost Stories, and it is by Bernhard J. Herwood. Very interesting name. I just love that hand-painted cover. It's really nice. This was published by Scholastic in 1973. This is the first printing. And then on Instagram, I saw an author named ADT McClellan talking about a certain book that he read as a kid, and he just recently reread it and said that he feels it's one of the scariest books of all time. And that is this book of true ghost stories. This is by Terry Deary. And I was a little bummed because this book came in really beat up condition. I originally bought it in very good condition, and it did not come in very good condition at all. So I was able to get my money refunded, and they told me to go ahead and keep this. So that's something at least. I got a free book out of it. And this has really cool illustrations all the way through. They're very gothic looking. And I'm really excited to read this. He said it is actually terrifying, so we'll see if this gets to me or not. The next two I actually got in a little free library. I saw one and I immediately pulled over on the side of the road and took a look, and I found a couple of Bailey School Kids books, which I've been trying to collect. So this one is Witches Don't Do Backflips, and this is book number 10 in the series. I read this one a few years ago and really loved it. It was really cute. It's a good fall Halloween-y kind of story. So I was really happy to find a first edition. And this one is a special edition. It is called Swamp Monsters Don't Chase Wild Turkeys, which I never heard of before. Yeah, that sounds really crazy and something that would only come from the 90s. I actually need to go back to that little free library and put a couple of books in there, because I just took these and I didn't have another book to put in there, so I gotta go back. It's only fair. And lastly is a book that is not at all horror related. It's not spooky. It's just one that I found at a thrift store, and I had to buy it because I love this author, and it was a first edition hardcover in great shape. And this is When You Look Like Your Passport Photo, It's Time to Go Home by Irma Bombeck. My mom actually read this one when I was a kid, and I remember peeking in this one and reading sections of it and it being really funny. So I'm really excited to revisit this one. So there is the last book in this haul. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Later, creeps.